Hello traders, Ippolito here. Let's do an analysis in Biotech and then look at a specific name, ADMS. And if there's any requests ever, feel free to email me, lance@tradingcoachlance.com, or message me on Twitter, Lance Ippolito. So Biotech, we looked at last week, the XBI and IBB. I'm going to look at the XBI today because a lot of Biotech's moving higher today with the KITE Pharma news, with KITE gapping up. So XBI, we were looking at it last week and we had that run up to this previous high here at 79. We actually failed on Friday. Remember Thursday, everything looked bullish trend, looking for a breakout on volume over 79. We failed on Friday, and so many times biotechs have failed. And if you look at the volume on Friday, look how minimal we are. So we're not going to break out, take out all those stops on very, very light demand. I was looking for a continuation of volume, mostly higher volume than the previous bar. So today we have XBI off that news moving up right at 79. So here we are knocking on the door again with KITE obviously gapping up there. I know it's a big gap up, but even in these biotech names and the options, unless you really have the short dated ones out of the money, they really don't move too much. So to look at a name that has been moving, ADMS. It's a pharmaceutical name. It was very range bound for, wow, what are we looking at? Nearly 2 years now. So we had the resistance here right at 19.5. Pretty basic chart right there. It just really, the stock didn't do anything. I take it they had news out where the stock gapped up higher. The one interesting fact was for really over the past year or two, look at the very light volume, very minimal. And then after the earnings, even on earnings, again, a lot of these biotechs don't move on earnings, nothing. We started to see selling here, so selling on volume, but also buying on volume here. So this was probably, took out a lot of stops, and this was probably liquidation. So all the weak hands completely got out here. So that means that the smart money can buy after all the weak hands are out. Smart money can buy, even if they're not buying aggressively because you don't see massive volume. It's at least the selling pressure has decreased because this is where all the margin calls and all the forced selling happens here. So it appears to be like we had increased volume, especially on this day on the 24th, between buyers and sellers battling. That's still usually a good thing. At least it's on volume. And then the breakout to the upside on nearly 14 million shares compared to 2 million. Yeah, so definitely nearly 7 times volume on this breakout. And I just want to look at it intraday just to get an idea of how the stock traded. So the stock had news, popped, the open, all right, here's pre-market, here's the open. So it basically was a complete pre-market move. Once the open happened, the stock just didn't do anything. Okay, that makes sense. So today we're left with the stock right around $20. I mean, it really clears all the overhead. We take all that out, so all these shorts got hit. We should start seeing price really, when we look at these volume gaps, so I'm looking at about 20.5 to 22. We should start trading up here and then basically consolidate. So I wouldn't say we're going to trade massive volume up to 22. We should just kind of grind, then go to our next level, ladder up 24-ish, and then eventually if all the news is good and the market holds up in this space as well, we can start seeing 28 to 30. So basically we're just going to go in channels. We're going to channel up here, probably grind around 21 to 22. If there's another catalyst event, we'll grind another couple points and then eventually look for a top. I don't like to say once we hit these tops, we're going to take them out, because you can even see once we had the breakout here on this top, there's not a lot of volume consolidation. So usually that level won't hold. I prefer these volume consolidations where we trade sideways because there's pent up volume at these prices. There's no really volume at this price just yet. So that should be it on ADMS. So watch the biotechs. I think, again, I think they could be the trade of the year, IBB, XBI, more liquidity in the options. But again, I personally like to make sure that, hey, this isn't just a one-day event. I like to see follow through, and biotech's, it's really hard to see follow through, but this could be the catalyst to start seeing some more MMA.